For years, you've seen BetOnline AG's odds on Fightful, whether it be wrestling, MMA, or boxing. That's who we trust. 25 plus years, they've been trusted online by millions. They've got a safe and secure environment. They've got payouts in minutes, high credit card acceptance, the earliest lines, the fastest payouts, and the industry's best bonuses. Whether you want to play games, whether you want to bet on basketball, MMA, boxing, wrestling, baseball, hockey, anything, check them out. You may say, wait, you can bet on wrestling? Yes, you can bet on wrestling. We've been giving you betting odds on wrestling for so long and giving you some good underdog picks as well. I think we hit a 9 in our first few months just working with BetOnline AG. So check it out for yourself. Of course, we want you to only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. Check out our friends over at BetOnline AG. What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, here with a name you know, and now you know her as the MLW World Women's Featherweight Champion, now under contract to MLW, as we revealed last week. It's Janai Kai. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. The news dropped last week, under contract, which opens up a series of questions. Anyway, first off, how did that process go, and how are you feeling signing with MLW?
Yeah, so it happened about a month ago where, Court hit me up and said that he wanted to talk. And, I've already been with MLW for 9 months. So I was thinking, okay, this conversation may be the conversation I'm thinking. So he gave me a call, and Selena De Laurentiis was also on the call. Like, they were just talking to me about how much they appreciated me so far with MLW, and they brought up like the question of like having me come on like officially under contract. And yes, so after that, like we just spoke about, the agreements and all of that, and then we came to a full on agreement and signed. But overall, I feel good. Like they've taken care of me very, very well since I've been with them. And I appreciate the opportunities already, the opponents I already had, the experience already that I'm taking, like all of the knowledge I'm taking in. I feel like I'm already gaining more experience off of that. For example, Jesus Rodriguez, he works a lot backstage and works a lot with me. He's known me since I basically first started. So he knows like exactly what my style is, what the vibe I want to go for and everything. And he's been providing so much knowledge to me and helping me out.
I think it says a lot about how MLW viewed you that you became a champion there well before you were under contract. Like, what did that say to you as far as their confidence in you, not just as a performer, but obviously as a person? Because in pro wrestling, a lot of different things can happen.
Yeah, I was actually stunned like when they brought it up to me. When they were like, "Hey, do you want to have your debut? We're gonna have you, go over, win the championship." And I was like, "Wow!" I was in Japan during this time when they hit me up about it. And when I'm in Japan, I was just, just going with the flow, seeing what this would actually take me. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens. Like when I come back home, I'll go to MLW, see what's good and all of that. And yeah, for me, it feels good to just know that people see me as someone of that level, of that champion level, because I haven't really saw myself like that for the past few years. Like I've just been rolling, like traveling around, doing what I can and wondering how people saw me. So like for them to like have that trust and see me that way, I appreciate it a lot.
You were also, I know, backstage at AEW recently, which is a place that you've been many, many times. What was that like knowing that you were ultimately going to end up signing with MLW? I mean, it seems like it's all love there. Everybody that I've talked to there has wonderful things to say about you.
Yeah, like everyone always asks me every time I go, they're like, "Are you signed or are you not signed?" I'm like, "No, nothing yet. Yeah, I'm just here, what's up?" But yeah, I've been there multiple times and I had a few dark matches. And then the past few recent times I've been there, I haven't been getting used. So I wasn't sure why. I wasn't sure if word was going around because I was champion or anything. But other than that, I mean, the last time I went was a couple months ago, and then that's when basically Court hit me up and everything.
So you've been in Contra Unit, which is a stable and program like Jacob Fatu has been in, and Mads Kruger has been in, now Minoru Suzuki. Like a lot of these like very important names. So it's very clear when they put someone in that spot that it's an important spot to MLW. What was it like kind of finding out that you were going to be in that spot, and sort of the confidence that shows that they continue to have in you to help lead the charge on that?
I thought that was crazy. I will say it was very random because I was doing a lot with Selena. And it was so random because I know that Rocky left and everything. And then they told me, hey, we're making a couple of changes. You're going to be part of Contra Unit. I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. I'll just go with it. And I kind of saw like the vision that they had, putting me with Cruel or Tristan. And I was like, okay, I see the vibe here. We kind of go well together. And then when we were in Atlanta, they spilled the news that Suzuki was going to join. And I absolutely freaked out because I found out when I was actually there. I didn't know beforehand. And so after that, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is very, very huge. Like everyone's going to freak out. Like, and when we came out the last show all together, I was like, this is so cool. I love it. And again, with MLW trusting me to be part of something like that, I think it's really cool. And again, that they see like my style too. Like I feel like I fit in perfectly with that type of vibe. And so for them to like really see that and trust me to be part of that, I absolutely enjoy it and I appreciate it.
You mentioned going to Japan. One of the benefits of you being the featherweight champion is you have been able to defend that title against a variety of talent from across the world, Maki Ito being one of them as well. How has that been for you? Because, I mean, obviously that's an integral part of your career, and it's something I know MLW really likes, is to globalize their championships.
Yeah, so that was another conversation that I had with Court. Like he did let me know like there will be more opponents for me coming from like overseas. For example, Hanako, who I'm facing next from Stardom, like I will be defending my championship against her. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. But yeah, I expressed that I want more opponents that are from overseas or different styles so I can really test myself. Because that's what I'm really looking forward in general. I want to wrestle people who are like about the same level I am or even better, who's going to really push me to my limits.
And I also noticed you had defended the title outside of MLW once. How does the process of that work? Is that something that the promotion says, hey, are we able to do this? Or is it something where MLW kind of says, hey, we're going to add some more eyes to this by having you defend it here?
I think it's both. For the last one where I did defend it outside of MLW, it was the promoter asking Court if it would be cool, and they were totally okay with it, which was Jesus Rodriguez's promotion that I defended it at.
Okay. I have to admit, I have a bone to pick with you, Janai Kai.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. I'm gonna give you an important date. December 2nd, 2023. Shazza McKenzie defeats Sean Ross Sapp at the Berwyn's Eagles Club. 12 days later, Janai Kai teams with Shazza McKenzie. How can you advocate the type of behavior in which she displays? Picking on poor little me. Now, I will give you this. Back in my good graces, because you've whipped her ass multiple times since then. Like a number of times since then.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. But like no part of you said, you know what, maybe I should just no-show this and leave her high and dry, and she should get her ass whipped at this show.
You know, to no-show a TJPW show.
What's the worst that could happen to your career?
A lot. I've been very loyal with them, and to just no-show that, plus being over like for prestige too. I can't miss out on that. Come on, man.
All I'm asking is for you to completely risk the future of your career for someone you had never spoken to before. That's all I asked.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that.
Well,
I mean, we're just meeting. We're actually officially meeting for the first time here.
I know. So. I know. Well, I mean, you did whip Shazza's ass after that. You and Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel. It's like Rachel's full-time job is beating Shazza's ass. So that much I really like. And then you had a triple threat. Gosh, that was earlier this month with her and J-Rod. And I look at
Yeah.
J-Rod and I'm like, man, that's another one who's going to end up under contract probably
Oh,
very soon.
absolutely.
When you look at the landscape of women's independent wrestling right now, like you've been a name I've long pointed at, but J-Rod and a lot of women on the indies, they get the presentation aspect so much more than I think a lot of the guys do. No disrespect to them, but like when you got put on TV, I was like, yeah, she already looks like she belongs on TV. How much thought and time goes into your unique look and presentation? Because there is nobody that looks like you in wrestling.
It takes a lot because it's just over the past few years. I even look back like 2 years ago, I still feel like I look completely different. Like I'm always trying to revamp, like upgrade something about myself. And so, yeah, it takes a lot of time, and I try to look for different types of inspiration, like the type of music I like, or like the other type of wrestlers I'm inspired by, and I try to put it all together and then really see how that looks. Because for a while, I was thinking about what would Janai Kai, like TV Janai Kai, really look like, and I feel like I'm still working on it, obviously, and being with MLW, they are helping me with that. So it does take a lot of time, and I always tell everybody like it's all about patience. And some of the women in the indies right now, they got it for sure. For everyone that I've worked so far, I see it. I see them going places. So yeah, it takes a lot of time, but patience is the key about it.
I had mentioned the match that you had where you beat Shazza. I mean, Maggie Lee teamed with her. That's another one I look at.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I love that she plays her volleyball background into it and wears like the volleyball knee pads as opposed to that. But like every time that you're on a TV screen, like people can look at you and say, oh, well, she'd fit right in a video game. If they made like a Street Fighter character that was Janai Kai, you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that fits right there. Action figures and stuff like that. Like, was there ever anything that you wanted to do visually that maybe didn't make the cut? Was there something that you wanted to, whether it be to your hair, to your gear, to like footwear, anything like that, like that didn't quite make it?
So I mean, sometimes I do wear shoes, but like I can't rock the shoes. Like it only depends on the environment. Like if I'm at a show and there's like glass and stuff in the ring before me, I'll wear shoes. Or if I'm outside, I'll probably wear shoes. But I can't even try and figure out to like wear boots or something. I like being barefoot. That's one thing. Or wearing the foot pads that I wear in the ring. Like I love that, and I just want to stick with that. For the hair, I have thought about it because I've had this hairstyle for a while. But I think it's absolutely me, and a lot of people tell me that like they can definitely pick out who I am if they just see a silhouette of me, like they know that's Janai Kai. So that's what I also think about too. It's like if there's like a silhouette of me, are they going to be able to tell that's me?
So anybody that's done any training can tell, like when you kick, like you trained somewhere, like the difference between somebody that just goes in there and throws a kick and doesn't turn their hips or pivot or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Where did you get your training, and like at what point did that start?
It started when I was 6 years old. I started in Taekwondo, and I did that for 7 years, and I got my black belt. And then I took a little bit of a break after that, after all of the competitions and everything that I did. And then I went back into martial arts and did Muay Thai and Dutch kickboxing. And during that time, I was looking to like fight professionally, but that didn't work out either because my first fight, my opponent, she like pulled out the week of, and I cut 20 pounds and everything. Yeah, it was terrible. I was like, I don't want to deal with this. But yeah, that's basically what my training, like my background is. And for the like kickboxing and Muay Thai, I trained under Henry Hooft a little bit. He's located in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, when he had his gym there. I'm not sure if it's still there. And then Jeff Ruth, he's really big in the DMV area, big like boxing coach, Muay Thai coach.
Henry Hooft, for wrestling fans that might not know, helped train Black Zillions, which, my God, they produced so much top talent in MMA for so many years. So, like, there would be some people I talk to, like, Jessamine Duke, and she would be like, yeah, there are some elements of this that legitimate training benefits. And she was like, then there are other ones that don't. Like, obviously, you know how to kick somebody. Most anybody who did any combat sport probably did break falls, so they knew how to fall. But then, like, she was telling me she spent her whole life pretending things didn't hurt. Was there anything that you found easier or more difficult to transition to pro wrestling in with that?
I definitely saw that the footwork part was easy. The ring positioning was easy for me. I think it's because, like, even in Taekwondo, like, you can't go outside of, like, the lines and everything where you're competing. And then, like, being in the ring too, when I'm sparring, like, I'm very used to just being, like, going in a circle and, like, moving around in that way. So that was very easy for me. There was, like, other things too, just, like, I guess, like, adjusting to the kicks were a little bit difficult, just, like, working the kicks in a way. But I spoke to different people, and, like, they told me, okay, here are the safe spots. You're good. You can always lay it in, definitely lay it in, but here are the safe spots. And so that's how I was taught to, like, really just do things safely. But yeah, that was the other thing too, just learning, you know, like, the selling part. It's always, like, hard. It's hard in professional wrestling. You're doing things that you're just completely not used to. You don't do in a daily life. So, you know, those are the few things for me.
What's the hardest you've been hit in the wrestling ring?
Definitely when I was in Japan. I was wrestling Tomoka and Naba. It was just me versus her, and they wanted us to do, like, a UWF / pro wrestling match. Yeah, like, they really wanted us to cut it in half, like, start, like, UWF and then, like, just pro wrestling style. And so there was at one point where she kicked me right here, and you could hear it clear as day. It was very loud, and I completely, like, fell over. And thank God this wasn't the finish, but thank God after that it was the finish. So all I had to really do was just be able to kick out of that and then go to the finish. So that was, like, the hardest one, but, like, she is incredible. Like, I hope no one really experiences what I experienced, but she's great. Well, I hope she comes over here sometime.
Besides Shazza, we want her to experience that, because I'm hoping the hardest you've hit anybody in the ring is my good friend Shazza. But
you can ask her how that was. For sure.
I've talked to her.
Because I don't hold back on her.
So Bloodsport, you've worked at a number of times over a number of years. I love Bloodsport. I mean, my coach is trained with Josh Barnett. It's the foundation of pro wrestling. It's what pro wrestling, like, is the heart of. How did you react to first being invited to Bloodsport and becoming somewhat of a regular? I think you've worked 3 times there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was when I was it was Tampa for WrestleMania. It was the first Bloodsport, and I was still trying to figure myself out as a wrestler. I was like, no, this is a big deal. Like, I mean, obviously no one, like, knows me like that. I'm still, like, trying to, you know, get out there. But I was thinking, okay, this is an opportunity to really showcase my style that I really want to showcase. And like, this is probably where I'm supposed to be then, if this is happening. So yeah, I was just, like, stunned at the opportunity, and I was excited. And I had my opponent was KZT, and she was great to work with. Like, she's been doing a lot as well, and she still is. But our styles together were great, and just being in that ring, like, no ropes and everything, it feels crazy, but it's fun because you can also play a lot more around with, like, what you're doing in the match. So I always appreciate, you know, being asked to come back and seeing if I'm available, because every time I do come back, I feel like I'm a different wrestler as well.
Also, I think you all had, like, the second longest match on that show, if I remember right. Like, everything else was, like, several minutes shorter, and then, like, you all in the main event went, like, 8, 9, 10 minutes.
Yeah. That was I remember it being, like, around 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember that was, like, a lot of people's first exposure to you. Yeah. And a lot of people took notice, because, I mean, that is that is a platform where you either find out about somebody or you find out things about somebody that you had no idea about prior, which I love. As we wrap up, what is one thing you would like the world to know about Janai Kai that they might not know?
One thing about me? Well, I'm very calm, cool, collected type of person. A lot of people say that's like the first thing people tell me, because they see like the kick demon, and then when they meet me, they think I'm calm, cool, collected, sweet, and everything. So honestly, that's how I am. And then like the kick demon is just a whole other different side. But when I'm in the ring, it's just because like everything comes out. But that's who I truly am. And also, I am a boxing coach now. So I do teach boxing. I like to surround myself still with martial arts. If it's not wrestling, I want to be in the martial arts world. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Guys, check her out all the time on MLW. The featherweight champion, Janai Kai. Was a wonderful, wonderful first interview we had. We're going to have to talk again because I could pick your brain about combat sports and the crossover nonstop. Check it out, guys. Make sure you go follow her. She's on Instagram. She's on Twitter. She's all over the place. And check out MLW. Until next time, my friends, we are out.